Thank you NordVPN for sponsoring this video. You see this? I know exactly what you're thinking. This guy is insane. But be honest, we all love cheese. Maybe not the way you're seeing it right now, but if it's mixed up with some meat and buns, oh yes, we all love it. This is heaven on earth. And since we like this so much, it got me thinking, what will happen if we dry age beef in cheese? Before you say this is madness, let me explain. Let's use Parmesan cheese as an example. As you know, it all starts from milk. Yes, cow's milk. Then you go through a process of separating whey from the curds. Once that's done, all of the curds are put in a mold so that it can go to storage to age. And it's doing so, it produces some incredible flavors, including the king of them all, monosodium glutamate. You see this open Parmigiano Reggiano right here? These little white spots are small pieces of MSG. If I'm able to replicate this with beef, oh man, I'll be into something. So the first thing to do was for me to figure out what type of cheese I was gonna use. Obviously, I can't just melt any cheese. Think about it, as it's hot, it's gonna cook the beef. So that's just not gonna work. So I went straight to Google and searched up spreadable cheese. And look what came up. Cheese whiz. Now this will actually work. If you are unfamiliar with this, let me show you. It is spreadable and it will make it nice and easy to spread all over the beef. Talking about beef, this is the real star of the show. It is a 4-bone rib roast and this one is a beauty. And in order to find out if this is really gonna do something to the beef, we must have a control. So for that, I decided to go ahead and split this one in half. By doing this with the same cut of beef, it will remove any variable. The meat is exactly the same. The only difference is gonna be the process. The first one we gotta take care of is the real dry aged one. And for that, I'm using these special bags that are called Umai Dry. You see, all you have to do to dry age at home is stick a piece of beef in there, vacuum seal it, and let it rest in your refrigerator for the time you desire. But now for the real reason we are here. I first started by spreading the cheese whiz all over the wax paper. This will allow me to have a nice coating on the bottom, because if you skip this part, things will get real messy. Then the next thing to do is to lay the beef right on top. As you all know, all there's left to do now is to cover the whole thing with cheese whiz. Not only is it very spreadable, it smells delicious. And as I previously mentioned, this is one of the easiest dry age experiment I've ever done. And to my surprise, for this size roast, 2 jars of cheese whiz was good enough. Because once I was done to ensure that this thing was perfectly covered with the cheese whiz, this is what it looks like. Now that is the world's first dry aged cheese whiz. The only thing left to do now is to let it rest on my refrigerator for 35 days. Once the time was up, I took it out and take a look at this. It is now solid. The smell of cheese whiz is completely gone. And even though I covered the whole thing in the beginning, you can clearly see that some of the spread ran out. It got me really worried, thinking that this experiment is a no-go. But in order to make sure, the next thing to do was to go ahead and remove all of it out. The cheese whiz has completely crystallized into the beef. That is actually a good thing. If you take a closer look at the bottom, oh no, that part is not dry at all, and that has some funky smell cheese to it. And right about this point, I almost stopped this experiment. But hey, we're never gonna know if we don't keep going. And even though this thing was super sticky, once that was done, this is what I was left with. Now that looks like a horror show. It is by far one of the ugliest dry age experiments I've ever done. And the smell at this point is really getting into me. If you ever opened up a jar of aged blue cheese, you know what I'm talking about. But hey, we are here so far and we gotta keep going, as the next thing to do is to open it up. And I knew that the bones were a no-go, so I started by removing them first. And as I did, take a look at the inside. Oh wow! Now that is looking phenomenal. So I went ahead and started by removing the pellicle. And as I removed the first slice, take a look at this. That is looking very promising. So I went ahead to trim the other side as well. And oh man, now this is looking real good. And as you already know, I gotta remove all of these pellicles out. And as I was doing so, I was revealed with some incredible beef. Because by the time I was done, take a look. Now that is a beautiful ribeye steak. And the smell is now incredible. And if you are wondering how much I was left, look, I was able to cut out 2 beautiful steaks. They are 1.5 inches thick, and when I tell you they are tender, I mean it. You can clearly see that the fibers between the meats are separating. That is a sign that the meat is extremely tender. As I hold it in my hand, you can clearly see what I'm talking about. And I'm excited to find out how it's gonna taste. Hopefully it's gonna be the best dry age I've ever had. Talking about that, for comparison, the other one is also ready. All there's to do is to remove the umai dry from it, and as you can see, it did the job perfectly. Now that is what dry-aged beef is all about. To keep a fair comparison, I did the same exact thing as the previous one. I removed the bone. Once that was done, I went ahead and took out the pellicles. And oh yes, that is exactly what I was looking for. As I continue to remove all of the pellicles, you can clearly see that the waist is almost the same as the cheese whiz. Because once I was done, I went ahead and cut up some beautiful steaks. Take a look. Just like the cheese whiz, it's also 1.5 inches thick. And as far as smells, I can honestly say that the cheese whiz smells better. As I hold both on my hands to compare, I can tell you one thing. The cheese whiz is a lot more tender than the other one. And as you can clearly see, it looks like the cheese whiz also held a little bit more moisture, and it is extremely soft. In comparison, the real dry-aged one is much tougher, but at the same time, I know this one tastes like heaven. The cheese whiz, we're gonna find out right now, because the next thing to do is to go ahead and get it seasoned. For that, I like to put it on a tray so that I don't lose any of my seasoning. To really find out the flavor of this thing, I'm gonna keep the seasoning extremely simple. Only salt and pepper, nothing else. And like I always say, make sure you season it well, because the only thing left to do now is to go ahead and get them cooked. And I'll first be putting a beautiful sear in all of them. Once that's done, I'll be using my wireless thermometers to cook them in indirect heat. I'm looking for a final internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit, because now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook them. So let's do it.
Before moving forward, I want to thank the awesome sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. I've been using NordVPN to protect all of my devices, and I can tell you that it is essential in my life and very easy to use. NordVPN protects you and your data online. It creates an encrypted tunnel and protects your online identity by hiding your IP address, and allows you to use public Wi-Fi hotspots safely. You can connect with the fastest VPN out there with one click, or enable auto connect for zero-click protection. The level of protection is ridiculous. They have automatically kill switch, so if the VPN connection accidentally drops, it blocks the device from accessing the web. And for extra protection, use their double VPN by routing your traffic through 2 VPN servers to double the encryption. We are now traveling more, and if you are far from home, you can open the map and click on your home location, and that's it. You get your content from back home. But it works both ways, because once you get back home, you miss your time abroad. No problem, change your virtual location and get streaming platforms from other countries, which by the way could be a lot cheaper. And don't worry, there are more than 5,300 servers in 60 countries, so they got you covered. So go to nordvpn.com/GugaFoods or use the code GugaFoods to get a 2-year plan, plus a bonus gift with a huge discount. That is a really good deal. So go to the link on the description and get yours. Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video, but now let's get right back to it.
All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful steak. Are you hungry, Mamo?
I'm hungry, the Guga.
That's good, because you're gonna need hunger today.
And they smelling good.
I know, right? Steak is always phenomenal. Mama, as you already know, I have a wonderful experiment.
Of course you
like
do.
always.
Like
yes.
always.
This one, I'm very intrigued. They know what it is, but you don't. At the same time, I say it's enough talking and it's time to eat. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go for it. Let's go for this very first one here.
This one, right?
Yeah, these two are the same, and so are these two right here. Okay? Very first one. Cheers, everybody. What happened, Mama?
Man, I missed this.
What do you miss, Mama? Tell me.
Dry age.
Yes, Mama Z. That is my cousin. He knows what's up, everybody.
Wow.
If you've never tried a real dry aged steak, Do it, everybody. You're not gonna regret it. I promise you.
It has a little bit of a funkiness.
Yes.
Sweet. That is really good.
It's a good funkiness. A lot of
It's
people don't
good.
understand.
No,
Listen,
no.
he's not saying like it tastes like
It
everybody.
doesn't taste like socks, okay? Let's make that
No,
clear.
mama. It doesn't taste like cheese, like old cheese, right?
No,
Mama?
no. It's a little bit beefier, beef flavor,
Yes.
a little bit aged, a little bit refined.
There you go. By no means does it taste like a weird steak. It just tastes like a better steak, everybody. Mama is concentrating on the stupid fly.
Oh my
You gonna
God.
kill the fly, Mama? Look at this fly.
Look at this
Fly.
I touched it.
You touched it, Mama. Here, we got a knife. Next time Okay, back to business.
You guys have fun editing that, okay?
We're trying to kill a fly over here, everybody, but it's not working. You know, this knife is too big. You know, like Mr. Miyagi used to grab it with
With a chopstick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Miyagi. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what's up. But that is basically what dry age tastes like. It is a phenomenal steak. We highly recommend. I recommend. You recommend?
I recommend it, yes.
Okay. Oh, you look at you going from. Oh, you going for the cap.
I'm going for the little piece.
Oh,
yeah.
look at that. He's going for the cap, everybody. He knows what's good. Okay, Mawazin, let's go for the next one. I'm excited for this one. Now, so you didn't taste anything different here? Just a nice, beautiful dry aged steak?
Not that I could tell. I'm already scared of this one.
We never know what we're going to get unless we try it, right?
Yes.
All right, very good. Second one. Cheers,
Cheers.
everybody. Ooh.
Ooh. It's different.
Yes, it is different, everybody. I'm having like a lot of emotions.
Yeah, I'm having conflicting emotions over here.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad,
Yes,
sometimes it's
You know what it reminds me?
What?
It reminds me of the MSG dry aging.
Yes, Mama. It reminds me of me MSG. You know why?
Why?
Because it has a lot of MSG in there.
What are you doing?
I'm kidding you, Mama. I dry aged this one with cheese whiz. Oh,
Okay.
look at you going for seconds.
I'm going for seconds. I gotta make
enjoy
sure.
it, everybody.
Gotta make sure.
You gotta always make sure.
Now that you said it, yeah, I can taste
A little bit of
the
cheese whiz.
Yeah.
It has a funky flavor, everybody, but at the same time, like you said, because it reminds you of MSG, because the flavor lingers in your mouth and it stays there.
Exactly what it was.
When you eat this one here, the flavor is just enjoyable. Once you swallow it, it's gone.
It's gone.
This one here, once you tasted it and swallow it, you still
I'm
feel
gonna
that
need
flavor.
some water to wash that one out. Not that it's bad. That one is, if you like cheese whiz, that one is excellent. You're gonna love that.
This guy, lactose
Don't-
intolerant. My recommendation is I much rather the real dry age, just as you
Yes.
as well. But if you want some funkiness and some protection to your steak at the same time, something that might be different that you are willing to give it a try, this one is not bad.
It's not bad.
We had a lot worse, Mama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We had a lot worse, everybody.
worse.
Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And Mama went right back to the real dry age, yes?
Oh, yeah.
It's so much better.
So much better.
It is better. See you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.